How does it look like?
Is that a boat?
It looks like a boat, yeah.
Verdiznak,
Verdiznak, Yarkiznak. It sounds like Chinese.
For me too, I was thinking same. Learning it?
Give us like 2 months.
Yeah.
and let's shoot again.
Hi. For me, the most important it's like the connection with the language, like you have someone to practice with. If not, you will be lost probably.
I think vocabulary is because you can learn the grammar and you can learn everything, but if you don't know how to say words, I mean, it's the hardest part, I think, because you just have to memorize. There's no other way around it, but it's the most important part.
And I feel also the pronunciation is very important, because if you know the vocabulary but you pronounce them in a way that the people cannot understand what you're saying, then kind of useless knowing it.
For me, like learning everyday phrases is probably the most important.
I think actually when you start to learn new language, at the beginning it's better if maybe you learn like some simple sentences, because like even when you just like learn the vocabulary, if you don't know how to use it in a sentence, you cannot, properly say what you have in your mind.
But I think we are also thinking about like our languages as languages that are all written with the alphabet, but actually if you study like Korean or Japanese or Chinese, the first thing that they teach you is actually the alphabet, and I guess for Russian it's kind of the same, because the alphabet is very different.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I guess when you're learning a language, if you don't know how the letters work, if there's any vowels, how the vowels are pronounced, I think you should start by learning the alphabet. If it's different from your mother language, because it's the base of all words and all the language is always the alphabet. So definitely like one of the first things you should learn.
That's true. If you want to learn some language properly, be able to speak, not just speak, but also write and do all the stuff, I think it's better if you start with the basics, such as alphabet.
When we learn languages at school, I don't know how was it for you guys, but in Portugal, like you can choose either French or Spanish, and I chose French, and one of the first things we learned was how to pronounce the alphabet in the French way.
But if we also think about how children learn their language, they always start from the alphabet.
Yeah, true.
When we were in the elementary school, I think we all started from the alphabet, so I think that's the basis.
Yeah.
So I never really studied Russian, but every time I see something written in Russian, I know that I would read it, like knowing the Latin alphabet, I would read your alphabet in a way that is similar to mine.
To your language?
But actually it's not. Like I know there's like something looking like an N, but it's not an N, and something looking like maybe an R, but it's not an R, something like that.
I got it,
I think that makes it harder, because your brain is already thinking that this will sound like this way, but it's totally different.
For me, as a native speaker, I would say that maybe like a Russian itself is difficult, but the alphabet is not that hard. That's what I think. But just like the way you use it in words and in sentences is maybe the most hard part. And also like maybe for like language, like other language speakers, we have like the same letter in the alphabet that is pronounced like way differently in English. For example, like we have like some B in English, but we have the same letter for V in Russian. But it's like literally the same. Like that's why I think I would agree with you.
Russian also looks so hard to write.
It's kind of hard to write because like I think in every language we have, like when we're young, we write all the letters one by one. But when you like go to middle school or something, you start to learn how to write like
the cursive?
Yeah, the cursive, yeah.
I know that Russian cursive is...
That's really messed up. Like it's just like a line.
So our alphabet in Portugal would be pronounced A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
In Italy, we say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, Z. And we don't have Y, W, X. We don't have them in the Italian alphabet, but we started using them because of English.
Wow, so how do you pronounce like W and...
Y is Y or Ilunga, W is V or V-doppia, and X is X. And then we have the J, which is J, and K we say Kappa.
We barely use like W and Y in our own language, in Portuguese, but we learned it for English I guess.
In Spain, we say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, Ñ, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, W, Z.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah.
You also don't have...
We do IZ.
Ah, Y.
Like, that's the
yeah.
Y.
Yeah, we call Y as well.
Oui.
In Polish, we have 32 letters, and they go as this: A, O, B, C, D, E, L, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, T, U. But the additional letters is O, Q, L, W, N, X, J, R.
It sounds like Chinese.
For me too, I was thinking same.
I think I forgot some letters as I was saying them, but the additional ones.
We also, in Russian alphabet, we have 33 letters. A, B, V, G, D, J, J, Z, I, кратке, K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, T, U, F, H, C, Č, Š, Š, tvrdi znak I, meki znak E, Ju, Ja.
The ending.
Yeah, the
that is
ending,
different,
yeah.
right? Because I understand till one point, and then they start adding words and sounds that I've never heard.
Because like some of there are two letters that there is no actual sound for it, but we call them tvrdi znak, meki znak. So we only use them like with other letter together. We never use them like separately. And it doesn't have a sound. It just like make it letter that you used before. It make it sound like harder or softer. That's how we use them.
Do you guys understand each other's alphabet like easier?
No.
Not at all.
It would take some time.
Yeah, I have a very bad memory, so I think it's going to be hard
in
for
2
me.
months I could get it maybe.
Wow.
What does it look like?
Is that a boat?
It looks like a boat, yeah. Wow.
There are 2 E's. There's a star. There's a P.
There's a 5.
There's a 5. There's a 4. There are
Many
2.
numbers.
There's a 6.
Yeah.
There's a E that is looking at herself in the mirror. Switched R.
Yeah, there's a few B's.
There's a little boat there.
I swear it sounded so not normal. I swear it sounded so similar to ours when you first said it.
But no, when you look at it.
Yeah. So okay, can you tell us how to pronounce each one?
Oh yeah, sure. This is A, B, V. That was the one that I mentioned that is like, yeah, right.
Okay.
G,
Good.
D, J, J, Ž. This is a Ž sound, the one that you said is star.
It's a star.
Ž, Z, I kratke. Because
Kratka.
it has like this. Like, this is like J, Yo, because it has like points on it. Then it is K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, T, U, F, H, C, Č, Š, Š. Tvrdi znak. I. Meki znak. E, Ju, Ja.
Tvrdi znak.
Apart from A, M, O, that I would read like that, all the rest is totally different from...
What is the difference between the K and the 4th letter? It's like K and K.
Which one?
The 4th letter?
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, G.
Ah, G.
K.
G, okay,
G.
good, good.
K.
Oh, one of the last ones.
Tvrdi znak,
Tvrdi
meki znak.
znak, jarki znak. Sounds so Russian.
These two are the one that you don't pronounce, but you put it with the other letter. But still they have a name, like when you call it in the alphabet here.
I think that would be the hardest. And also looks kind of hard to write.
And it's really confusing that you said like the one that looks like a P sounds like an M, right?
Oh yeah,
Like down there?
this one,
yeah.
R.
Like, you
R,
was
but
like,
it's P. Yeah,
sounds
that's
like a-
one.
like a
And for
P.
Is this one.
Yeah,
That's when I made a mistake as well.
This would be so confusing to learn.
It is confusing indeed.
So confusing, really. Because we already have like our thoughts about how certain letters, yeah?
In English, you know, SH sound, we have a letter for it, it is sh. And if you add an H at the end, it's gonna be sh. And for the one CH, chronicle, you know, like this kind of words, we have K, K, this sound. So G sound is like garden, G, like this kind of. I think that's the most confusing one that like have the similar sounds in other languages, but the way you write them is totally different.
Which letter?
I said A, M, O.
This one is E, and the first one is A.
yeah, that's similar to Spanish.
But for example, the first line, those 2 E's, I
Yeah.
would read them as E, but actually like
Ye,
A,
ye,
but
yo.
it's ye.
Yeah.
Okay, but while you're the A, the Italian A, it's the one in the last line. I don't know, it's so confusing. I don't even know how to
Yeah.
explain this. So what is the next task that we have? Learning it?
I think it's gonna take a
It's gonna take 3
while.
hours at least.
Give us like 2 months.
And let's shoot again.
Okay, let's go.
Teach us how to pronounce them.
We can go one by one.
The first one, A.
Okay, easy.
Okay, easy. Like the first line is gonna be not that hard. B,
B.
B,
G,
G,
D,
de,
je,
je,
jo,
Yo.
že,
že,
ze,
ze,
i.
I.
Oh, the next one. I
I.
kratka.
I kratka.
K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, T, U, F, H, C, J, Š, Š.
Sh.
Mягкий знак.
mягкий знак.
Okay. U.
Oh my god, yeah, the P is so confusing.
But for P, we have P. This
Yeah.
one, the previous one.
And like the H, it was the O, and the M, it was the H. Like it was.
Oh, yeah. It is N. N. It's not H, it is
And
N.
the first one, like, it looks like a U, but it's an E.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the order is the same as ours. M, N, O, P. Like
Yeah. K, L, M,
But it looks like an
O,
H, and then the P looks like an M. Oh my god.
P, R, like in English. P, R.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like their order is like similar, but like the way you write it
It's
is
mixed.
different. Yeah, it is like, it doesn't make any sense, but like these two, like there is a difference, like even when you use it in a word, it sounds really different, and also like at the beginning, at the ending.
So you also have like pronunciation rules, right?
Yeah, right. That's why. And usually this one, because like some people do mistake and they write sh and mehki znak, because it sounds the same when you put them together. Sh.
So the
It's gonna
combo
be the
sounds
same.
the same
Yeah,
as
yeah,
the sh.
right. So it depends on the word if you have to write it like this or like this. Do you have any like confusing letters?
The F to me is,
F. Oh yeah, F.
I would never guess that
Yeah.
that's an F.
And the epsilon sound, the one that looks like epsilon is that looks like Y is
This one, it is U.
ooh. Yeah, that's hella confusing.
And the one that looks like a C, it was
This one,
S.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right. S. And for this one, I thought you will be confused by this one. H. That look X. Yeah, it is. H.
My god, it's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, it's like you have to forget everything that you
Yeah.
know and
Yeah, and just like start.
How can you actually, like, when you learn English, like, is it not confusing for you when you're learning how to pronounce English words?
I think it's more confusing when you try to read it in Russian, because you know, like English is still like most common language all over the world. But so like that's why sometimes, you know, like sometimes I read it like this one, especially V, when I read like English letters, but then oh it's B. But then when I read some Russian sentences, I also like, you know, change them. And the last, твердый знак.
Твердый знак.
Твердый знак.
Thursday snack?
Твердый.
Твердый.
Твердый знак.
Thursday snack.
Мягкий знак.
Мягкий знак.
E,
You.
я.
Yeah.
And this one, it is the last, and in Russian, я means me.
Oh.
I. It was not that hard. I think the pronunciation
my
was
God.
not
Yeah,
that
but I
bad.
already don't remember
Oh,
any
yeah.
of them. Only
If you look at it and you just try to read it, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be
and
easy.
yeah.
I mean, the pronunciation is not hard, but it's just too confusing.
Just memorizing what sounds like what.
I think if I learn it full, then I forget how to read Latin alphabet.
I think so.
For example, in Italian, when we say the alphabet, we say A, B, C. But then when we have to say a word, for example, with B, we don't say B, but we say B.
We do.
So
yeah,
it's
we
gonna
do the
be
same.
different when you pronounce words. So I guess it's gonna be
Yeah,
even more
that's right.
confusing.
Because when you pronounce it in an alphabet, it is different from when you use it in a word.
call that letter that way, but then the sound in the word is different.
Skras.
Спасибо.
Спасибо. Yeah, right.
Oh my god, but the second
Spasiba, but that's a O.
Yeah, but when you pronounce the words, you say спасибо.
Oh my god.
But because like in Russian, there are a lot of words when you have to write them this way, but when you actually read it, it sounds different.
Okay, don't learn the alphabet, just go to the word.
But the way you wrote it too?
Like down, I will never guess it.
Yeah, that's how we actually would have write it. Like if you're a native,
so
you will never
different.
write it like this, but like this.
And every Russian person will be able to read the second
Yeah,
one?
definitely.
Really?
Wow.
They would probably write it like the same way, maybe like just a little bit like, you know, unique style, but like still similar.
In Portugal, everyone says like the doctors have really weird writing.
Think about Russian doctors.
Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah, that's true. We never understand them neither.
I see the letters, but like if I had to read that as an Italian, I would read that as Chacuso.
Because
Yeah, me too.
oh really? You have? Oh,
like CHACUSO.
Yeah.
To me, it's like something like that, like wakuso.
Because like in school we also learn, you know, like when you write it like this, we learn where to connect the word. If we should connect them on the down part or on the upper part. We have different ways for letter T and D. There are like two ways to write it. So I will write my name in both ways.
I think I will never guess it if I saw it like
It's
that.
English tail.
It is the same one, it is T.
T. Okay, it looks like a T.
And this one is also T, but like the proper T.
Chil? No.
This whole thing is just one letter.
So T and then S and then.
I think it's, yeah, that's
It's
similar
A.
to the
Yeah, right.
Ah,
It
it's
is
an
A.
okay.
That's an
It is
E.
A.
Ah, it's an A and then it's a E.
It's yeah.
yeah.
The one that was like at the end in the alphabet.
Okay.
And what was the L?
There is no L.
No, I know the one that looks like an L.
Oh.
But I think it's an E. Like, seems like an E.
Chia.
Taya.
Taya.
I mean, if I write my full name, I don't think you can read it. Like the full name, you know that.
Not even that.
I don't think I can even say it.
So the last one is an A?
It is, yeah. That's like we write it. You know, like usually you can write it like this, but when you write it in a sentence, you write it like this.
So wait, how many letters are in there? 4 or 3?
3.
That's why, because like we think Taya, so we think 4, but actually it's 3 letters.
Because
the
ya
last
is
one
just
is
one.
ya. That's
right.
the hardest part. To me, it's so hard, like to not confuse the letters I'm used to with the letters that I actually have to like learn. It's like, you know, you see a color, like for example, you see something blue and you have to read the word written on the color and it's like green. And so your brain connects the color and not the word. You know, there are some tests online sometimes. So I think like it's very tricky for our brains to forget what we know and say something different. I don't know if I explained what I have in my brain right now. Right now, I don't know what is going on anymore.
I think similar. It's just so confusing because we know how to, like how the letters work in English or Latin, and then you have to change it completely to something else. So I think that part really is hard. I think because I'm from Poland, but not that good anyway, but I think it will be easier than...
I think you actually were pretty good at pronouncing when, you know, I was saying it first and then you were pronouncing it as well. But for the writing, I think it's kind of confusing even when you write, when you don't know the alphabet well. So yeah, that's my impression.
Today we try to pronounce Russian letters.
If you like the video, please like, subscribe and comment down below.
See you next time.
Bye.